Welcome to SA Decides, brought to you by ANN7. My name is Audrey Chimwanda. Thank you so much for joining us. We're coming to you from the Eastern Province, and we are in Buffalo City Metropolitan Municipality, which is up for grabs on the 3rd of August when the electorate here go for the local government elections. Let me introduce you to my panelists. To my right is the host mayor, Mayor Alfred Mtsi. To his right is from the Democratic Alliance, Chantal King. And we also have from the UDM, Reverend Rodisal Fredericks. And we also have a member from COPE who's joining us this today is Siyasong Sijadu. Thank you so much for joining us. And very important, we have members from different political parties that we'll be crossing live to in a few minutes. For now, we go back to our panelists. Thank you so much for joining us. Mayor, we'll start with you. Talk to us. Opening remarks, 1 minute. What is ANC about?
Well, key to the ANC, Audrey, is about the development of our country and the development of our communities, and providing services to the people in a more efficient way.
Okay. We'll come to you, Chantal King, in a minute. Please tell us what the Democratic Alliance is about in this municipality.
The Democratic Alliance is about creating opportunities for everyone in East London and in BCM. It's about creating opportunities for jobs. It's about stopping corruption so that there is enough funds for everyone to at least acquire decent services to restore their dignity. Also, the Democratic Alliance put people first. We've always been, where we've governed, put people first. That is why we are the best run municipalities where we govern, and we govern well. Come 3rd of August, the Democratic Alliance is just expecting that people will vote for us so that we will show them that we do put them forward so that we can push the needs of the circumstances ahead of the DA.
Thank you, ma'am. Reverend, please tell us what the UDM is about.
Thank you very much, and thank you for this wonderful opportunity. It's number one, we are looking at a corrupt-free society, looking at job creation, and trying to strive to make sure within our community has been in terms of development, especially within our youth context, where most of our young people today are without jobs. Secondly, is we're also looking in terms of infrastructure, looking in terms of water and sanitation. But most of all, that we are looking at also at a crime-free society, whereby currently, if we look in terms of what is happening within society, it is a shame. The drugs that is so prevalent also within a particular area. But most of all is the corruption that is taking place, that is killing not only the community, but our country as a whole.
Right.
And lastly, what we're looking at...
Reverend, your minute is up. We'll go to COPE. Ma'am, please tell us what your political party is about.
Good afternoon, Audrey. Thank you for the opportunity. The Congress of the People is a party that says we will develop programs that will empower, taking people, more especially young people, from a position of disempowerment to a position of empowerment. Secondly, we are a party that has always said protect the Constitution at all costs. And this is what we'll be doing in this municipality. And most importantly, we are saying root out corruption from the municipal level, in fact, from the council and ward levels, root it out till the top. This is what the Congress of the People is saying to the people in this afternoon. And most importantly, what we're also saying is that save South Africa and save Buffalo City in particular. Thank you.
Thank you for your opening remarks, ladies and gentlemen. Right, we'll go to the second round of questions. I'll start with you, Executive Mayor. The Auditor General's report on this municipality has not been very good. Wasteful expenditure has been cited as one of those culprits. What have you done to cut this problem?
Well, thank you very much, Audrey. Indeed, it is known that when we receive the Auditor General's report, we do our own self-introspection and put plans in place. In this case, we have initiated the audit improvement plan to address all the issues that the Auditor General has identified as challenges. But at the very same time, we are considering and addressing the challenges within our systems, and in particular, the supply chain management systems. So that's part of what we believe in the long term, that we also need to improve the capacity in the supply chain management by employing people who qualify for the jobs that they are dedicated to.
Is there a corruption system in your municipality, Executive Mayor? You have had 2 mayors consecutively being under investigation for financial fraud.
Well, perhaps the issue of corruption as it appears now, it appears as an allegation. And every incident of corruption that is being identified in the municipality is subjected to the due processes. And the due process in this case is for the institutions of law to do their work to investigate those who are alleged. And at the moment, until the court of law provides a ruling against anyone who is alleged of corruption, then we can conclude in saying that the person is corrupt. But until that process is complete, it's very, very difficult then to conclude that anyone who's being alleged of corruption is corrupt.
But do you not think it gives a perception of corruption in the system when you have mayor after mayor being implicated in such cases?
Well,
what does it say to the electorate, rather?
Well, the perception that is given to the public, of course, by mere fact of being alleged as being corrupt, it raises suspicion. It is natural in any situation that once you get alleged of corruption, perception will arise that indeed there is corruption. But I think we need to give due respect to the system that are relevant to verify the allegation put against any. So that's why I'm saying it's very difficult to, by mere fact of being labeled as being corrupt, then we take a conclusive without any scientific verification of that allegation. So I can't say, as I'm sitting here, that the systems in the Buffalo City are inherently corrupt or characterized by corruption. But the fact of the matter, we don't deny the fact that allegations do exist, and we respect that because we discourage corruption, but at the same time we respect the institutions that are charged in verifying whoever is suspected to be involved in the situation.
Democratic Alliance, Chantal King. Do you have a realistic chance of taking over this municipalities? Just looking at the numbers, how you performed in the last municipal elections and how the numbers are looking like for you this time.
Yes, we do have a realistic chance. In fact, we have a chance of taking it by more than 50%. The ANC's track record is very dismal in PCM. Like you just alluded to, they are taking long to deal with their own corrupt officials. They are taking long to give people service delivery. That's why service delivery in PCM has increased sporadically. And there is no plan in sight in order to assist people. Yes, you will see that they are cleaning up now, but most people are not fooled by what the ANC is doing. They know it's just an election ploy that is going on. They know that where the DA govern, we have governed well. 73% of our municipalities have received clean audit compared to the ANC that only have less than 30% clean audits. In Buffalo City alone, irregular expenditure amounted to 479 million, which I feel could have been used to deliver better services. And if you say you don't have corruption, then why we have 245 million as unauthorized funds? Somewhere corruption must have stepped in. Somebody, because consequence management is not adhered to fully at PCM. It is not what their priorities are. They were talking about an audit improvement plan, yet the Auditor General was not happy with PCM because our audit improvement plan is taking very slow. Year after year, we don't really get good audits, but at the end of the day, the report is exactly the same. What is also said to know is that our capital expenditure is very low in PCM. Where we govern, we have spent 67% of our budget to ensure capital expenditure is met so that we can fix road, give people decent service delivery, and then create opportunities for them to further themselves. What's the point of having a municipality which is not functional? All we ask is give us the opportunity to move BCM forward in order to ensure that people enjoy the freedom that we have today. You see, that we are being treated fairly, equally, and that opportunities are realized through infrastructure development and investment and to root out corruption.
Executive Mayor, I'll ask you to respond to this. Allegations coming from the Democratic Alliance, and the numbers do speak for themselves. Wards that do not have clean audits. What do you have to say?
Yeah. Perhaps if my colleague would refer to the history. For the past 3 consecutive years, BCM has received what you call in fact the audit finding by the Auditor General, if you link it to the past, because from the past we were receiving a disclaimer, and there is a great improvement if you were to refer to the past achievements. So for the past 3 consecutive years, you know, our audit findings have improved consistently. Okay, but I think that the other point that I wanted to refer to, sometimes the word irregular is translated in a manner that suggests that there is corruption practice.
We're speaking of wasteful expenditure, Executive Mayor. We are aware that there's a difference between the two.
Okay, I took note of irregular expenditure. She did mention, elaborated on it, but with respect to wasteful expenditure, because the issues of financial management are also subject to responses and justification on how certain things happen. So officials who sometimes are alleged to have embarked on wasteful expenditure, it depends on whether this has been done deliberately or circumstances under which one was operating. So until you subject the individual into a hearing where the person can be held accountable, you will be able to understand the motive. If the motive, it can be justifiable, of course, to embark on wasteful expenditure, but in some instances it differs. What has led to the official, you know, being implicated in this? Is
Right,
it circumstances
we'll come back to that point,
the
Executive
control?
Mayor. I have to go to the UDM now. Excuse me, Reverend Fredericks. As the UDM, you spoke of minimizing crime in this municipality. The stats say the crime has been going up. How do you intend on doing this?
Well, it's number one, we'll have to look at the system itself, SAPNS, and all the other institutions aligned to them, how they function. It's number one. From a community-based point of view, the UDM's point of view is we've discovered that the reason why there is an escalation of drugs within our area, it is because why the very same drug lords that are operating within our areas are aligned with SAPNS and also have connections within the current government system. And unless we as UDM, we need to do something about it. Our children, if you look in terms of
when
where
you
our
say you
children
need to do something about it, Reverend, what pragmatic ways are you talking about?
pragmatic ways
practically?
is to ensure at the end of the day is that those people that have been placed within particular positions are not ANC aligned. And this is where our problem is. Most of our commissioners, currently SAPS commissioners that are in office, are all aligned and all connected with the ANC government. A study has shown also that most of them don't have the necessary qualifications, and there's no accountability from the officers as well. And I'm quite sure is that if the UDM have been given and afforded the opportunity, those we will ensure that whoever applies for a position has the necessary qualifications. That's number one. You ought to have the necessary qualifications and the experience for those positions.
Right, so there's issues of incompetent officials in the municipality.
That is correct.
Okay, we'll go to the COPE now, ma'am. Tell us what you have been contributing to this municipality and how you intend to improve on that.
The Congress of the People, throughout these past 5 years, not only in this municipality but in other municipalities, we have ensured that we have candidates who are credible, reliable, and honest individuals who will, at the end of the day, account to the people. Now, what we are saying to the voters is that come the 3rd of August, vote for the Congress of the People, because we are the only party that will ensure that corruption is rooted out, that you will have leaders within your community who will ensure that they come back to the people. We want the power back in the hands of the people, because the problems that we are currently facing, not only here in Buffalo City, but in other municipalities across the country, is that people sit in council and make decisions for the people that might not necessarily be about the people. And then you will find protests because people are unhappy. Now, what we're saying as the Congress of the People is that we are going to go to the people. We want the people to tell us their needs so that we can take their needs and ensure that policies are put in place to eradicate whatever problems that they may have. This is the message that we are sending to the voters currently.
Are you saying the leaders of this municipality are not in touch with the people on the ground?
They are not. I was in Buffalo City last weekend, going throughout the townships, and the one question that I was asking, who is your mayor? People did not know who the mayor was. That is an atrocity. It is an atrocity that a person within this municipality does not know their mayor. And we want leaders who will go to the people. Mayors who are elected by the people, not just people who are deployed because they are cadres. No, we don't want that. We want accountable leaders who will return to the people with everything that happens in council, so that we know where monies are going, so that we know the budgets that are in place, so that we know the policies that are in place. This is what the Congress of the People will deliver.
MC, I'll give you an opportunity to respond. I think there was allegations from the Reverend as well saying ANC members could be aligned with criminals. The Congress of the People say the people of this municipality do not even know who you are.
Well, I would be happy if the clergy would be honest enough to say who in the ANC, who is in the municipality, who has criminal case now.
Yes, I think it's only fair, Reverend. Would you like to respond to that?
Well, if you look at currently what is happening,
do we have specific cases and specific names that we know of?
it is a known factor. The Daily Dispatch, it's a known factor to everybody in society, because the question earlier posed was, is our current mayor, he's a third mayor, what has happened to the previous ones? Obviously there's a big cloud over there because of what, in terms of corruption that has taken place. It's a known factor.
And those two cases are under investigation, and we will await the results of those investigations.
It is not only those two cases. There are more cases coming up, because there are so many other cases that still needs to go to court. Because remember what the mayor has earlier stated within his defense. If you look in terms of our change management system, how many of Buffalo City municipality employers are currently on suspension within the change management system because of corruption? Because of corruption.
Issues of corruption coming back again in your municipality, Executive Mayor. Perhaps you could respond to him and respond to the question that came from the COPE as well. Well, rather allegations that you're not in touch with the people.
Well, maybe people need to appreciate the ANC for exposing corruption in the country. Those who were here before 1994 will remember that the word corruption has never been mentioned from the previous governments until the democratic government put in place a system that will ensure that corruption is exposed. So I think we need to really appreciate our democratic government for ensuring that under the leadership of the ANC, that Today, we have been able to prove to the world that nobody is above the law. Everyone is equal before the law. We are the only government that has proven that across the world. So when it comes to issues of corruption, it is the ANC government that has started to initiate processes, whether you talk of whistleblowing, whether you talk of hotlines, whether you talk of institutions like your SIUs, your Hawks, your public protectors, or Section 9 institutions of this world. It is the ANC government that ensured that our people are able to deal with issues of corruption through the establishment of such institutions that will take care of that. So I'm saying that people now is so unfortunate because sometimes it is very difficult. I said this, Gumfundis, that when a person is being alleged, it remains an allegation until it is proven beyond doubt by the court of law. So
we'll go to the Democratic Alliance now. Chantal King, what do you make of this municipality? Is it a well-oiled running machine, or is there incompetent staff that are running this municipality?
It is not a well-oiled running machine. There's a lot of incompetent staff due to cadre deployments. It is a known fact. That is why we have service delivery issues. If it was such a well-oiled machine, then I'm sure that the mayor himself knows we would not be sitting with a problem of people having to come and bring in petitions all the time. We even had in council had to set up a rapid response team. Why do you need to put up a rapid response task team if you have competent staff? The staff is not well skilled, they are not well trained. The mere fact is most of the staff members, they are trying to enforce so much employment equity issues, but they don't even have a performance management system. They are very slow to implement performance management system for employees under Section 59. Why is that? If they have done that, then there would have been consequence management. The Auditor General statement again was clear. There is no consequence management systems in place for PCM. That is why people can get away with corruption and there's nothing happening. Just now in council recently, people that were alleged to have fraudulent activities was asked to be brought back, but in a different department. Is that consequence management? That in the DA's case is actually fostering other people to also go and do unnecessary things. And that is what we can't afford. That's why the DA government, we will make sure we have a skills audit when we come in to make sure people are in the right positions. Because that is so needed in PCM, because you can talk about money, you can talk about everything, but at the end of the day, if your human resources are not well equipped and well trained, then why are we sitting here?
Are there any consequences, Executive Mayor, to those staff that are found wanting in terms of how they perform their duties?
Definitely, yes, there are consequence actions. To this regard, if you were to refer to our HRD report, I think the recent one that was presented into the council, and look at the details as far as cases of disciplinary action, where the detail is there. Much as sometimes it becomes a pain to act against individuals, a number of people that have been dismissed due to a number of reasons, whether it's due to natural attrition, whether it's due to ill discipline, whether it's due to poor performance. I don't have the exact figures, but all that information is well attributed to within our HRD report. So as I'm saying that, it's difficult now to get into the actual details, but just in the recent council, we were made to be exposed to that. But I think with respect to the whole question of qualifications, we have never claimed that our administration is perfect. There is no administration in the whole country that is perfect, So every administration system has got its own challenges.
I don't think the question is to have a perfect municipality executive mayor, but to have a municipality that have people who are qualified for the jobs that they have been assigned to do. That way you can have less issues of irregular expenditure, wasteful expenditure, and issues of service delivery that are not addressed to. You have issues of illegal electricity connections that have been plaguing this municipality. I don't know if this is something that you have addressed as well.
Well, at the moment, we trust that our recruitment systems are good. They may have challenges here and there, because I think the most important is the entry point. How do you ensure that you screen the people and ensure that the people with the required skill, get through the process? So as I'm saying that, the reason why I prefaced my input with the whole question of perfection is that, of course, we do have challenges as far as recruitment policies are concerned that we acknowledge. It may open for a situation where you may not be perfect in terms of identifying people that would be perfectly up to the expectation. So I'm saying that in any form of administration, you will always realize as people are doing the work. Sometimes at the entry point, if people manage to slip through the entry point, then you discover it while the person is already there. I think, again, there are systems in place to evaluate the performance of individuals, to do performance evaluation, performance appraisal. So I'm saying that there is no way that anyone who may have recruited improperly can escape, because if your systems internally, whether in the form of appraisals, are intact, you are able to pick up those things. So it is sometimes people would put a blanket statement.
Right, I'm going to have to cut you off, Executive Mayor. We're running out of time for the first half.
Yeah.
I just want to get a comment from the COPE. I want to touch on issues of service delivery in this municipality. What do you think has been the major problem? Why there is no service delivery in most of the wards, and people seem to not be getting what they've signed up for?
Again, issues of service delivery go back to the issue of corruption.
Right.
Since 2011, over 1 billion rands has been mismanaged in this municipality. That is money that could have been used to build houses. That is money that could have been used to ensure that infrastructure is there, and proper infrastructure at that fact. But because there is so much corruption, people are not getting what they need. Now, what we are saying as the Congress of the People, use participatory budgeting as a way of ensuring that people know how much money is available, and they are the ones who will then say, we need this as a matter of urgency, and we need that as a secondary matter. So if you were to take that power back to the people, then you would not have as many protests as you have. You would not have as many petitions as you have, because people would be aware of the amount of money that's available and what it could be used towards.
And we'll come back to all those issues and much more. We have to take a break now. We're coming to you from East London. This is Buffalo City Metropolitan Municipality. Stay with us.